Nobody was listening to. Did any of the other chosen leaders have the same experience? Oh, wow, that's unfortunate. All right. So how did it feel, leaders? Terrible.
He kept telling me to shut up.
He kept telling you to shut up. Right?
No. The thing you have to say is important.
I heard that one of the leaders said that it was very cold back here. Right? It was cold and lonely, wasn't it? Yeah, right? Right? So that didn't feel very good. Other leaders, how did you feel? Yes, sir. Right? Right? How often does that happen when you aren't necessarily on board, but everybody else seems to be on board, and you just kind of go with it? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. I think it was funny because you were ignoring me too just now. So I was ignored in my group.
And I was ignoring you as well.
Yes.
Yes, because I thought you were still holding the card.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, yeah. Yeah.
It was an interesting experience because I'm very assertive with my ideas. I
Yes.
like to make sure I'm very
Yes.
vocal, and being ignored was the worst
Right.
thing possible.
Right? Right? Imagine, right?
Yes.
I mean, I didn't know I was being ignored till like he was literally looking past me.
Right?
I was like, thinking I'm bringing the group together, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna agree with her, like yes. And then he's like, I'm encouraging him, like you're doing such a good job. And then I'm talking to him because he was the leader, and you're talking to her, and I'm just like,
Yeah, right? It's like, hello, right? What about those individuals who said, I can't be trusted? What happened? Right? Stuff happens like this every day in reality, and people are trying to figure out what is going on. It's biases. Some of them conscious, some of them unconscious, but it's biases. What about you folks who encourage me? Oh yeah, all the encouraging people are smiling. They're like, oh yeah, I had a great time during the session. It was awesome, right? So what encouraged me people, what was it like? What was it like?
It was actually really weird for me because, like, at first nobody understood what the cards were actually saying.
Yes.
And then once everybody got around to it, like, I was like, no, do not do housing. They already are building another dorm. And then, like, everybody was like, no, we think there should be housing. And then they read the card, and then they were like, oh, you're on the right track. Like, let's go. Where did this come from? Like, what in the world?
Right? That's what happens sometimes with leaders. People are like, that's a terrible idea. And the leader says, oh, I like it. Oh, no, that's awesome. I think we should do that. What else? Encourage me, people. Yes.
It was almost a bit overwhelming, really, honestly. Every person is just coming after you. You expect at least one criticism.
Right.
Most of the time.
You're like, you know what? I'm just spewing out like bull, right? And they're like, oh, yeah, Hercules, right? What's up?
For me, like, I had an idea, and I didn't really have facts to back it up, but everyone was like, oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So to me, I was like, wait, what's going on? But at the same time, it felt good.
No, right. It's like, I don't like it, but it kind of feels good. Yeah. It's crazy. Yes, sir. New voices. I love it. What's that?
I get to finish my idea.
Yeah.
And people are already nodding their heads.
Right. It's like, so you would have finished it with, but we're all going to die. They're like, oh, great idea. Oh, it was awesome. Right? That stuff happens, yes.
It felt too easy.
It felt too easy.
Like anything where if someone said, oh, we should do the athletic facility. I went, no, performing arts. They went, yeah, that's a cool idea.
Right? It's too easy.
Yeah.
So when you get yes people, you're like, you know what? Did we get to our best idea, or did we just get to my idea? Right? It's just crazy. Yes, sir.
It was actually the opposite for me. I wanted the athletic, but they wanted performance, so I don't know what's going on.
It's crazy. It's crazy. All right. Who else in the group? Because we had ignore me's, we had encourage me's, we had yes, ma'am.
Okay,
It-
got that. And it was actually kind of fun because when I was playing with them, I wanted to figure out what my role was.
Yes.
But it was so close to agree with me, it was weird. So I started mentioning every single thing. I was positive about it. So I was confused because we had a movie.
Right. Yeah, we ended up spending like $700,000 because they agreed with everything you said. Right? We went over budget because people would like tell you no. It's crazy. Yes, ma'am.
The interrupt me,
Yes.
it was so annoying. I'd like open my mouth and like be like, oh yeah, okay.
Right? And you're like, wait, can I get a thought out there? Like, I'm sorry, you don't even exist, right?
Yeah.
And they, yeah.
Just like ignoring. Like I'd say, it's like I was like, oh, I think, and then they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and you try to keep getting in. You can do that, and we cut off the time for the sake of time. But imagine if you did that for 15 or 20 minutes. You would go nuts. And some people have gone nuts. Did you have a comment? Yes.
I had to interrupt me, and like I didn't even realize I was being interrupted. I was like, wow, everyone has really great ideas.
Okay, that's a different session. That's a different session, right? All right, let me get two more. Oh, right back here.
Fine. Everything I said was like, yeah, let's go with that, totally. Like I could have said like, oh, give me the $35 million, you know, and they would have been like, yeah.
Yeah, sure, right? Like, right? I mean, just nuts. All right, one more back here in the back. Right? It was really annoying. All right, so let's we've got 5 minutes. Let's bring this home. We had fun with that project. Well, for some of us, unless you ignore me, people. But we had fun with that activity. But if we bring it back home to say, do these things happen in reality? And if so, when it's not a joke, what do you do? Have we done it to people? Has it happened to us? Do we see it happen to other people and don't say anything? What happens? You guys are going to go out there in the world and you're going to run into this stuff, and you're going to have to learn to lead in an environment that is not necessarily fair when you're a female in the mechanical engineering department and Bill is going, you know what? I probably got socks that are older than you. And by the way, I don't know, where'd you go to school? Yeah, I don't think that applies for me. What are you going to do in those situations? What are we going to do right now in this crazy behind country of ours? When all kinds of weird things are going on, there's unconscious biases, there's overt, really conscious biases out there, right? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Call them out. Call them out. Do the right thing. Sometimes that's just say, hey, look, I got you. Whatever they said, I'm good. I got you. But know that this stuff is going on all the time. Know that most of you, if not every one of you in this room, is going to experience those things. It's not whether it's going to happen to you, because it will. It's what you're going to do about it. The more you're aware of it, the more you can head it off. It's kind of like defensive driving. If you see it's coming, stop it from happening, or engage it in a different way. But you're going to have to be very, very smart about how you engage. Because if you engage the wrong way when you're experiencing unconscious biases and or conscious biases, in a lot of cases unconscious biases, if you react in the wrong way, the person whose brand is damaged is yours. Not the person who's doing those other things. You'll hear things like, well, I don't know what happened. They just lost it on me. Well, I don't know what happened. They just must not be a cultural fit for us. Well, I don't know what happened. I was just talking to them and they just lost their mind. And then that becomes your brand. And then that determines how far or not you go in your careers. Does any of that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good deal. I've got a bunch of other slides, but you know what? We don't need those slides. What we need to do is just think about how we act and react, become more aware, help others do the same, and remember that your brand is up to you, not others, It's how you react versus it's how you react when things happen to you. And in today's world, it's how do we make sure we take care of each other. All right? I appreciate you all's time. I hope you have a good rest of the evening. I hope you enjoyed our time with Shannon and I. And we'll look forward to seeing you guys again soon, okay? You're so welcome.
I always enjoy your thing.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. All righty. Let me see. Were we on time? 1 minute. Woo! 1 minute. All right. Great. Good man. All right.
Thank you so much.
Hey,
Great presentation.
no worries. No worries. Still talking.
Still talking about it.
Yeah.
I love the activity.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I think y'all's talk was the first time that